Battle through the heavens. From Xiao Yan's gloomy expression, Dou Qi could guess that the little fairy doctor likely had a complicated relationship with him. Xiao Yan, what do you plan to do? The Ice River Valley's strength is not inferior to the Burning Flame Valley. There are as many experts in there as the clouds. They are extremely difficult to deal with. Lin Yan seemed to have also sensed the killing intent in Xiao Yan's heart. His expression became much more solemn as he wondered aloud. I will make a trip to the Pill region. Xian Lan has been with the little fairy doctor. She might perhaps be aware of some news. As for all of you, it is best for you to remain in Tianhuang City, Xiao Yan mused for a moment before speaking. Let me go with you. I am a little familiar with the Pill region. Lin Yan hurriedly said. Xiao Yan shook his head and rejected Lin Yan's good intention. He did not expect the woeful poison body to cause such a big commotion within the Central Plains region. If he wanted to help the little fairy doctor, some enmity would be unavoidable. It would not benefit Lin Yan to follow beside him. You should just wait at Dou Qing's place. There is not much you can help with regarding this matter. Xiao Yan patted Lin Yan's shoulder as he suggested. Lin Yan might be unwilling, but he could only nod his head after a brief moment of hesitation when he saw Xiao Yan's serious expression. He was also aware that with his Dou Huang class strength, it was impossible for him to be of much help to Xiao Yan. He might even end up burdening. Hence, he did not continue to insist. Since you have your own plans, I shall not dissuade you. I will send someone to pay attention to the middle region. If I really obtain news about the little fairy doctor, I will think of a way to pass it to you. Dou Qi found it difficult to comment on anything when he saw that Xiao Yan had already made up his mind. He took out a map from his storage ring and handed it to Xiao Yan. This is a map of the middle region. The Yi clan is in Yi City. You can head there if you wish to find Yi Xian Lan. Xiao Yan did not reject this offer. He nodded and received the map. This thing would allow him to avoid losing his way in the middle region. When are you preparing to leave? Dou Qi asked after seeing Xiao Yan accept the map. Now. Xiao Yan replied with a deep voice. Currently, he was unaware of whether the little fairy doctor was dead or alive. He was really not in the mood to stay in this place for long. He needed to find Xian Lan as soon as possible and obtain news related to the little fairy doctor from her. Dou Qi widened his mouth when he heard this. He could only smile bitterly and nod. All right, I will immediately get someone to arrange the wormhole for you. He beckoned with his hand after saying this and called a guard over. After Dou Qi softly issued some instructions, the guard swiftly withdrew. Remember, you should try to be careful in the middle region. That place is a complicated one filled with all sorts of people. There are many troublesome experts there. If you meet with any trouble, you can come to Tianhuang City. Even though my Lu clan isn't very strong, we will also try our best to protect you. Dou Qi looked at the guard who had ran out before turning his head. He solemnly informed Xiao Yan. The wormhole was slowly rotating in the large square in the center of the Tianhuang city. Wave after wave of shocking spatial ripples was being emitted from within. Xiao Yan received a palm-sized silver-colored boat from Dou Qi's hands in front of the wormhole. After which, he cupped his hands to him and said with a smile, after I resolve these issues, I will return to Tianhuang City if I have the time. There is still a 5 days' journey from here to the middle region, Dou Qi smiled. After which he patted Xiao Yan's shoulders and said, take care, additionally, do not shame the Jia Nan Academy. You should know that you are the most outstanding student from the inner academy in many years. Relax, no matter what, I will not cause it to lose its reputation. Xiao Yan laughed. He cupped his hands to Dou Qi and Lin Yan in a solemn manner. Take care. After saying those words, Xiao Yan ceased delaying any longer. He turned around and walked into the wormhole. His back appeared exceptionally free and easy. Lin Yan and Lu Qing sighed as they watched Xiao Yan's back gradually disappear into the wormhole. They faced each other and bitterly laughed. The both of them were aware that Xiao Yan's trip would likely end up stirring a commotion within the middle region. This fellow, no matter how we try to catch up, he is always in front of us. Ugh, meeting such a monster is really a great blow to our confidence. Xiao Yan was seated cross-legged at the front of the space boat within the wormhole. The boat was emitting a bright silver glow. His expression was exceptionally solemn. He had a hunch that this trip to the middle region would likely not be a relaxing one. Qing Lin. The girl from back then who always timidly followed behind him and called him young master involuntarily surfaced in Xiao Yan's mind when he thought of her. He wondered how she was at this moment. However, according to what Yao Lao had said, staying at the Sky Serpent Mansion was better than anywhere else for her. It was likely that after these years, the timid girl from back then had become a great beauty. However, I still need to find the little fairy doctor now. Xiao Yan slowly withdrew his drifting emotions and exhaled a deep breath. He was about to face a cruel situation. Forget about the people who wanted to capture the little fairy doctor. Among all the factions who wanted to destroy her before the woeful poison body erupted, just the Ice River Valley alone would require Xiao Yan to pay full attention. By being able to be one of the three valleys alongside the Burning Flame Valley and the Sound Valley, the Ice River Valley was likely even stronger than the Wind Lightning Pavilion. Hence, if Xiao Yan did not adequately prepare, it was likely that he would really meet his end in this middle region. Once I reach the middle region, I will need to think of ways to quickly gather the necessary medicinal ingredients to help Tian Huazunjia refine a body as soon as possible. At that time, with the help of a Dou Zun, I will have some additional confidence when facing a faction like the Ice River Valley. Moreover, the rate I gather those beast flames should also be increased a little. Otherwise, the current life-transforming flame I have created can only allow me to use the exterminating fire lotus once. Xiao Yan's eyes swiftly flickered. The situation he was facing this time around was likely the grimmest one he had ever faced. Hence, he needed to put in all his effort. I should also begin to practice the remaining 2 changes of the Skyfire 3 mysterious change during these couple of days. Although I am pressed for time, it is fortunate that I have obtained the inheritance. Otherwise, even if it's me, it would be extremely difficult to obtain an initial mastery of it within such a short period of time. Xiao Yan inhaled a deep breath. His expression had gradually turned cold and stern. After which, he shut his eyes. A mysterious training method once again appeared in his mind. Time flowed by within the wormhole like the sand between one's fingers. During these couple of days, Xiao Yan's mind had completely sank into the training method of the Skyfire 3 mysterious change. This secret technique was quite difficult to practice. However, Xiao Yan had already practiced it for many years and already understood it very well. Additionally, he had also received the inheritance and experiences of the Burning Flame Valley's ancestors, allowing him to jump past a couple of detours during his training journey. Under these excellent conditions, Xiao Yan's progress in practicing the Skyfire 3 mysterious change was exceptionally quick. 5 days passed by in the blink of an eye amid this kind of training. When Xiao Yan opened his eyes and woke up from his training, he was coincidentally able to see the distant, silver-colored circle. There was a dense spatial ripple spreading from it. Am I about to reach? Xiao Yan's fist suddenly tightened as he looked at the silver-colored light circle. A dense coldness surged into his dark black eyes. Xiao Yan suppressed a sigh within his heart as he suddenly stood up. The jade-green-colored glow that flowed around his body slowly returned into his body. Xiao Yan was unconcerned with these kinds of bumps. His expression was calm as he controlled the space boat. With a swoosh sound, it rushed forward. The silver-colored light circle was within close proximity within a couple of blinks. The silver-colored glow grew brighter in Xiao Yan's dark black eyes. His fists gradually tightened as a cold glint flashed within his eyes. The space boat transformed into a silver glow. With a swoosh sound, it charged through the silver-colored circle and disappeared. Middle region, Xiao Yan, have arrived. The exit was a spacious stone platform. The platform was completely built from snow-white rocks. The most shocking thing was that this stone platform was nearly 100 meters tall. 10 enormous rock pillars supported it to such a height. The rock pillars supporting the stone platform were just like pillars supporting the sky. They appeared towering and spectacular when looking from a distance. The space above this stone stage was very much different from other places. It appeared exceptionally messy. The large space was greatly distorted with some dark black cracks vaguely spreading out of it. Silver light would shoot out of this distorted space. Quite a number of people would be thrown out of the space each time the silver light appeared. After which, they would land on the stone platform below. This place was a wormhole transit point. Another silver glow flashed in that distorted space. A skinny figure appeared from within. Immediately, his feet pressed onto the air as he slowly landed on the stone platform. Is this the middle region? It is indeed worthy of being the middle of the Dou Qi continent. Just this wormhole transit point is already so grand. Xiao Yan's eyes swept over the lively stone platform. He discovered quite a number of figures wearing alchemist robes and was quietly speechless. This place was indeed the Pill region. These rarely seen alchemists in other areas were actually quite common in this place. Recent news in the middle region. The Ice River Valley is offering a sky-high price. Anyone who found the woeful poison lady or provide information about her whereabouts will be able to bag the sky-high reward of the Ice River Valley. Quite a number of curious onlookers were gathering around this person. Clearly, they were a little interested in the woeful poison lady mentioned by this person. Xiao Yan's expression was a little gloomy. The so-called woeful poison lady should likely be referring to the little fairy doctor. It was just unexpected. The Ice River Valley spent so much effort in order to search for traces of her. Xiao Yan's eyes slightly flickered. He slowly walked toward the small skinny man and curled his hand. A suction force surged out and sucked the paper out of the skinny man's hand. He glanced over it and saw the head of a lady drawn on it. Although the image looked blurry, Xiao Yan could tell that the drawing on the paper was the little fairy doctor. This young brother is new to the Pill region, right? This woman has the legendary woeful poison body. She has stirred a great commotion within the Central Plain some time earlier. Quite a number of factions have joined hands to hunt for her. However, she has managed to escape. The skinny man laughed in a flattering manner to Xiao Yan. His strength might not make it, but he possessed a sharp eyesight. At one glance, he could tell that this young man in front of him was not someone that he could afford to offend. Xiao Yan tightened the hand he used to hold that piece of paper. His gaze turned to the man in front of him as he faintly asked, "It is rumored that the Ice River Valley has exchanged blows with her recently?" Xiao Yan randomly tossed him a bag of gold coins. Xiao Yan's eyelids twitched. His voice also slowly became lower. What happened in the end? The Ice River Valley has dispatched quite a number of experts. However, that woeful poison lady is also not an ordinary person. She was able to kill quite a number of people when the Ice River Valley surrounded her. Moreover, she even managed to successfully escape from elders Bing Yuan and Bing Fu. However, according to the information obtained, the woeful poison lady suffered the two elders' Heaven Eye's mysterious palm despite having fled from the encirclement. Currently, she is seriously injured. It is due to this that the Ice River Valley has searched all over for her. They have put forward a sky-high reward. Anyone who provides some useful information will be able to obtain the reward. That skinny, little man spoke with a smile. The chill in Xiao Yan's lowered eyelids became even more intense. He slowly said, "Where was the place the Ice River Valley encircled the woeful poison lady back then?" "The fallen god stream in the north." However, that place has basically been surrounded by the people from the Ice River Valley. They suspect that the woeful poison lady did not flee very far. However, they did not manage to obtain any news despite having searched for such a long time, that man honestly replied. Is the Ice River Valley the only one attempting to capture the woeful poison lady? Originally, quite a number of factions wanted to act. However, quite a number of people from the Ice River Valley were subsequently killed by the woeful poison lady. Therefore, they ended up saying that they will definitely capture the woeful poison lady. The other factions no longer dared to intervene as a result, hence, the Ice River Valley is the only faction in the middle region which continues to chase after the woeful poison lady. Xiao Yan's expression was indifferent as he nodded. The paper in his hand emitted a puff sound and transformed into a cluster of ashes that drifted down. He also suddenly turned around and walked away from the stone platform. Xiao Yan took out the map that Dou Qi had given him after he walking to the edge of the stone platform. He carefully studied it, identified the direction, and turned his eyes to the north. He softly muttered to himself, regardless of whether it is the Yi City or the fallen god stream, the both of them are located in this direction. However, Yi City is closer. I should be able to reach it within a day's time. It seems that I must increase my speed. Based on what the person said earlier, the little fairy doctor's condition is not very good. A killing intent surged in Xiao Yan's heart when he thought of this. With the little fairy doctor's strength, she could at the very most fight with a 6-star Dou Zone even if she undid the woeful poison body's seal. She would definitely be no match for the other party if they had 2 Dou Zones. This Ice River Valley seemed to have used all their tactics in order to capture the little fairy doctor. Ice River Valley, if anything happens to her, the little me shall be an irreconcilable enemy with you. Killing intent surged within Xiao Yan's dark black eyes. His feet suddenly stomped on the ground and his body rushed into the sky. Immediately, it transformed into a colorful glow that rushed to the northern sky in a lightning-like manner. Yi City was not very far from Xiao Yan's position. It was merely a day or so journey. However, Xiao Yan did pause for a while when he found some cities along the way because he needed to gather beast flames. Xiao Yan had stopped over at 5 cities along the way. His acquisition was unexpectedly plentiful. He had obtained 12 beast flames and had also found quite a number of ingredients that he needed to refine a body. This rewarding experience caused Xiao Yan's gloomy expression to become a little more relaxed. Xiao Yan also made full use of his time during his journey to refine all of the beast flames he had obtained, with the exception of a unique one that he kept for other uses, into his body. After which, he gradually merged them into the life-transforming flame, fire seed, allowing the fire seed to swiftly expand. By the time Xiao Yan had merged the last beast flame into the fire seed, an enormous deep green city vaguely appeared in the distant horizon. This city was situated on a flat plain. The surroundings of the city were filled with a lush, green forest. Numerous wide roads extended out of the forest and stretched into the horizon. I have arrived. Xiao Yan sighed in relief when he saw the city that stood within the forest. A thought immediately passed through his mind and his speed was suddenly increased. The overlord of Yi City was the Yi Clan, which had once been prominent within the Pill region. Of course, the current Yi clan no longer possessed the glory it did back then. Even though this was the case, a camel, which was about to die from being skinny, was larger than a horse. There was still no other factions within this Yi city who dared provoke the authority of the Yi clan. Being the overlord of this city, the Yi clan was situated right in the middle of the city. All the land within 1,000 meters was the manor of the Yi clan. Normally, an ordinary person was not allowed into it. The defenses of this place were also exceptionally tight. Of course, this was only the case for an ordinary expert. I will definitely not marry that as Xiao Dan. At this moment, an argument had occurred within the meeting room of the Yi clan. A lady in blue clothes was furiously crying out. Her exquisite, pretty face was filled with fury at this moment. Nonsense! A green-clothed, old man within the meeting room expression sank as he said, "It is not like you are unaware of just what kind of situation the Yi clan is in. The Xiao clan is also one of the 5 great clans. They are a perfect match for our Yi clan. Moreover, Xiao Dan is a rare alchemist genius in the Xiao clan. By marrying him, you will not only prevent the danger of the Yi clan from being eliminated from the 5 great clans, but you would have also found a good family to marry into. Even if I were to really marry Xiao Dan, do you think that we can resolve this crisis? The Xiao clan is filled with wild ambition. They have long desired to swallow our Yi clan. By doing this, you are merely delivering yourselves to be eaten." The blue-clothed lady furiously retorted. The blue-clothed lady was dull for a moment after hearing this. For a moment, she was unable to find any words to refute him. Some random cat and dog is also not interested in helping you resolve whatever crisis. While the blue-clothed lady was speechless, a cold and indifferent voice suddenly resounded over the large hall. The familiar voice lingered over the ears of the blue-clothed lady. She was initially startled before she turned around with a face filled with joy. An involuntarily joyful cry was emitted when she saw the young figure that had slowly appeared at the entrance of the hall, Big Brother Xiao Yan. A ghost-like figure slowly appeared at the entrance of the large hall while a pair of indifferent gaze swept over everyone within. After which, those eyes paused on the blue-clothed lady. His expression slightly warmed while his voice continued to contain a gloominess. "Xian Lan, why has this happened?" The blue-clothed lady was clearly Xian Lan, who had led Xiao Yan's group to the Central Plains. She appeared to have understood Xiao Yan's meaning when he said these words. Her pretty face dimmed as she softly uttered, "I'm sorry." Xiao Yan gradually became a lot calmer after seeing that downcast appearance of Xian Lan. She was not very strong. Moreover, it seemed that the Yi clan was currently not in a very good state. Even if Xian Lan could convince them to aid the little fairy doctor, it was likely that they would not possess the ability to do so. "Who are you? You actually dare to randomly barge into my Yi clan." Xian Lan's voice had just sounded when the expression of an old man in the large hall sank. He stood up and angrily cried at Xiao Yan. There were some other elders within the Yi clan beside him. They were also looking at Xiao Yan with similarly furious eyes. Some of the somewhat younger generation possessed a gloating expression in their eyes. Although the Yi clan was currently declining, it was not in a state where anyone could come and provoke them. Moreover, this person was actually a young fellow who was of similar age to them. "Follow me, lead me to her." Xiao Yan's eyes stared at Xian Lan as he spoke with a cold voice. Xian Lan clenched her silver teeth when she heard this. After which, she nodded vigorously. She had led the little fairy doctor and Xiao Yan to the Central Plains, but did not provide them with protection. Instead, she was powerless to do anything when the little fairy doctor fell into a dangerous situation. "You impudent young man! That old man who had cried out furiously earlier had an even angrier expression when he was completely ignored by Xiao Yan. His hand slammed violently onto the surface of the table. One could hear a bang and the hard table was shattered into powder. He immediately waved his sleeves and the chair behind him carried a wild and violent force as it shot toward Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan was completely expressionless. When the wooden chair had entered within a 10-feet radius, one could hear a muffled puff sound. Without any forewarning, it turned into dark black ashes that scattered down. There was surprise on the faces of quite a number of people present when they saw this scene. Clearly, they did not expect this young fellow to possess such skill. So you actually possess some skill. No wonder you dare to act so presumptuously in my Yi clan. However, the old me shall teach you, this younger generation, what it means to respect your elders. Fourth elder, stop. Xian Lan hurriedly cried out. A paleness was revealed on her pretty face when she saw this old man attacking as he pleased. However, that fourth elder completely ignored her voice. His character was a little hot-tempered. The situation that the Yi clan was facing also caused him to be irritated. Now, a young fellow, who had appeared from nowhere, dared to jump over him. How could he not be furious? Big brother Xiao Yan, leave quickly. Xian Lan hurriedly turned to Xiao Yan and cried out when she saw that the fourth elder did not pause. The Yi clan might not be in a good situation now, but they were still able to produce 2 to 3 elite dozongs. If they really wished to capture Xiao Yan, it was likely that he would have difficulty fleeing given his strength. Xiao Yan also ignored Xian Lan's cry. His eyes looked at the old man who was heading over with a heated wind. A chill flashed across his dark black eyes. Right now, his mood was also extremely bad because he was worried about the little fairy doctor's condition. This old fellow had really knocked onto his desire to hurt. Brat, once I have captured you, I will deliver you to your elders and get them to teach you properly. The fourth elder's figure flashed and appeared in front of Xiao Yan while many gazes, that were intending to watch a show, watched. His fist was clenched tightly and green-colored, fierce flames appeared. After which, his fist was ruthlessly swung forward. This punch did not possess any fanciful moves. However, its majestic force caused a low, deep sonic boom to appear. The fire fist was swiftly magnified in those dark black eyes. At the same time, Xiao Yan raised his hand gently and slowly spread it apart. Bang! The fist from the fourth elder of the Yi clan, that contained a green-colored flame, smashed against Xiao Yan's palm in front of all the eyes within the large hall. However, before any cheers could be emitted, everyone's faces became stiff as they discovered that the skinny, weak-looking, young man did not move at all. Moreover, the cluster of green-colored flames on the fist of the fourth elder seemed to have met something frightening when it made contact with Xiao Yan's palm. It was extinguished in front of numerous stunned eyes. If it is about teaching a lesson, you are really not qualified to do so. Xiao Yan slightly raised his eyes. His gaze was indifferent as he looked at the old man in front of him, whose expression had drastically changed. The corner of his mouth was lifted into an icy cold smile. His palm spun a little and abruptly shook. Bang! A frightening wild, violent strength surged out of Xiao Yan's arm like a torrent when his hand shook. After which, it was transmitted into the body of the Yi clan's fourth elder. Grug! The hidden force that contained the heavenly flame trickily destroyed all of the fourth elder's defenses. His face instantly paled. His body seemed to have suffered a heavy blow as he flew backwards and heavily collided into a large pillar in the hall. A mouthful of fresh blood was spat out in front of everyone's shocked eyes. The originally quiet, large hall had become dead silent when they looked at fourth elder, who had collapsed after spitting out blood. Even Xian Lan involuntarily covered her small mouth with her hand. Her face was stunned. In the past, she knew that Xiao Yan possessed the ability to fight with an elite Dou Zong. However, at that time, he was unable to merely use a palm to strike an elite Dou Zong until he spat out blood. It has only been less than a year, yet he is already this strong. Xiao Lan's eyes stared at Xiao Yan's indifferent face. A fervent expression appeared in her eyes. It is not without reason that the Yi clan has declined until such a state. Xiao Yan slowly withdrew his hands. He glanced at the fourth elder, who had fallen onto the ground, before looking around the hall. After which, he shook his head and turned his eyes to Xiao Lan. Let's go. Stop. Two furious cries sounded the moment Xiao Yan's voice sounded. Immediately, two old men stood up. These two people were also elite Dou Zongs. Their strengths were a little stronger than the person earlier. Their strengths should be around that of a 3-star Dou Zong or so. The two people who had stood up this time around were not as reckless as that fourth elder. Instead, they furiously looked at Xiao Yan. They moved their bodies and blocked the exit. This young friend, this is our Yi clan. Putting aside your barging into this place, you have currently injured an elder of our clan. This matter cannot be justified, right? Although our Yi clan is currently in decline, it will not accept being bullied by others in such a manner. That green-clothed, old man in the leader's seat, who had not spoken since Xiao Yan had appeared slowly opened his mouth and spoke in a deep voice at this moment. I am not the first who attacked. Moreover, I still have something to do. Xiao Lan must leave with me now. I currently don't have the time to accompany you in pursuing whatever matter. Xiao Yan's eyes turned to the green-clothed, old man in the leader's seat as he furiously replied. What an arrogant brat. The expressions of the two Yi clan elders, who had blocked Xiao Yan's path, sank when these words sounded. They immediately cried out. The expression of the green-clothed, old man was a little ugly. He said, Xiao Lan is a member of my Yi clan. She is not someone whom you can just bring away as you please. First elder, big brother Xiao Yan is the one whom I mentioned before. With his help, the Yi clan will definitely be able to enter the Pill Tower elder's seat once again. Xiao Lan appeared to be unwilling to see the relationship between the Yi clan and Xiao Yan deteriorate too much as she hurriedly cried out. The green-clothed, old man was a little startled when he heard Xiao Lan's words. He immediately frowned a little as he looked at Xiao Yan. Disappointment appeared on his face. Such a young age, how could he be the savior of the Yi clan as Xiao Lan had mentioned? There is no need to say anything more. I have my own opinion regarding this matter, the green-clothed, old man faintly spoke. He immediately looked at Xiao Yan and said, this young friend, if you are really the helper that Xiao Lan has invited, please temporarily stay in the Yi clan and allow us to play our role as a host. These words might be put beautifully, but their intention was to hold Xiao Yan back. A cold smile surfaced on Xiao Yan's face. His gaze stared at the green-clothed, old man as he said, I am not interested in helping your Yi clan. If not for Xiao Lan, I would not even want to come to this place. Moreover, I have something to settle now and do not have time to waste with you. Xiao Lan must leave with me now. A fury surfaced in the eyes of the green-clothed, old man when he saw that Xiao Yan was not willing to give in. He slowly took a step forward. In that case, allow the old me to try and see if you have the ability and the qualifications to do so.